Ta-da! Whew! I made it, finally, this week. Hi, everybody. If anybody's actually here yet, good morning. Welcome back to What the Flock. Ooh! Oh, the bobbin. Only through the magic of a live could that happen. Hi, everybody. I'm just putting my spinning wheel together. Obviously. That's obviously what's happening, right? Like, that's what you assumed was going on? Because I definitely got here with enough time to actually get the spinning wheel set up so that I could show you it today. And I definitely was able to figure out the camera angle so that the spinning wheel fits into the thing. Notice how you can't see the spinning wheel. We'll work on this for the future. It's a future Ethan problem. Hi, everybody. I'm just going to finish getting this guy relaced together because it's just having a bit of a moment. Not one of my favorite parts of setting up the wheel, I'll be honest. Each day is putting the belt back on. I have some questions for our friends at Ashford. And the main question is whether or not there's an easier way to get this done. Because so far, I royally suck at it. Good morning, everybody. So I've been spinning for 5 minutes now. And as such, breaking news, I'm fully into it. And working through it quite quickly. Today is the final day for submissions for your Danish confection knit along. I got 2 Danish confections finished. This guy, my own self-drafted brioche pullover, which I'm really, really thrilled with. This pattern will be coming out. It's in one color brioche using 2 strands of silk mohair and 1 strand of Tivini. And I also finished a windy pullover. I was like, I swear I made 2. I did. I finished a windy pullover as well by, London by Helga Isier. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm going to go. I'm clearly not fit for this morning. If you've been in and out of the shop this week, I haven't been around. I'm really, really sorry. I got incredibly sick right after Cannes. And what I have is not contagious. You can't catch it. I am just having a bit of I got so tired that my body actually literally just shut down. I got a fever like well over a normal amount. And then at the same time, if you live in Christchurch, you know that the pollen has been insane. Now, quickly for everybody who's watching from home, who obviously cannot wait, construction updates. I know you can't wait for this and that you had a whole week without them. So somehow it's gotten worse again. I mean, at least the building's not shaking like it was last year at this time when we were trying to record or like do a live, but yikes, kabibble. It is not great out there. Now, the good news is that soon we are going to have 3 empty buildings across from us and 1 beside us, basically. Because I'm just going to put it out there, if the buildings that already exist aren't full, maybe we don't need new buildings. Anyway, moving right along, because this is technically a knitting podcast at the end of the day. So, what's been going on in my knitting life? Well, I was profoundly unwell. I got back from teaching at Cannes, which was a joy and a delight as always. If any of you who are watching were there, thank you so, so much. It was a great experience and left me feeling, while extremely tired, very, very invigorated to come back and jump back in with both feet on some things. I'm realizing this morning that I have misplaced the back of a jumper somewhere, hopefully at home. If not, I'll be doing a bit of an investigation. I know that I had it at the airport, and I just don't know what I've done with it since. Not great. Hopefully I haven't lost it. If I have, I would like to pretend like this would be the first time that I've lost a piece of a jumper in progress, but that would not be true. It would be the second time. Now, while I've knit the front and the back of a jumper in Arwetta and Tilia from Filcolana, I also been hand spinning. So about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, my amazing housemate Troy, who's also a knitter who comes to our shop and helps with a lot of the teaching here at Get Flocked. If you've come in and done our beginner knitter program or beginner crocheter program, you've most likely met Troy. He's an incredible teacher and just a really great person to have around you at any stage of a kind of crafting journey, because he's really engaged and at the same time totally willing to magic school bus the situation, which is to take some risks and get messy. And we love that. We love to take some risks and get messy when we're at the beginning of a process, because those mistakes then and those failures give us the best chance for growth and offer us the opportunity to get better quickly. So the long and the short of the story is I started spinning and I've made 3 skeins of yarn so far. Yay! So I'm hoping that this camera zoom thing works. I'm going to cover my face. This was my first attempt. This is making a full skein. So this was my 4th and 5th bobbins. This guy is some beautiful Corriedale, hand dyed by the wonderful Bonnie DeGroot, who is Union Fiber. It was a real joy to spin and work with. And I have to admit, for my first hit out at making yarn, it, I think, went pretty well. I was pretty pleased with it overall. After that, I dug back into my stash and found, breaking news, yet more Union Fiber. I'm a bit of a serial shopper. And this guy is a Corriedale and nylon blend. And this one went much, much better. So this guy here, you can see, is plied slightly better. It was even, again, multicolored skein, blah, blah, blah. And I got some really great plying advice from the super talented Annette Montgomery, who's a very talented hand spinner and art yarn spinner. And if you haven't met Annette before, I have good news for Christchurch locals, because I'm hoping to be able to bring her down at the beginning of the new year to teach some art yarn spinning and possibly how to make your own bats and stuff like that over the next little bit. We are an Ashford dealer, if you guys didn't know. And a big part of what Ashford does is spinning wheels. And I know over the years that lots of people have fallen in love with other brands of spinning wheel, but I would much rather support friends from down the road who are making incredibly great products and promote their wheels and stuff. And so I thought it really behooved me, as the most centrally located 7-day-a-week yarn shop in Christchurch, to be able to offer a fulsome experience of fiber. And we've gotten a lot better at crochet over the last little while. So I think it's really important that we spend some time focusing in on spinning and the other aspects. I'm going to be honest, I'm never going to become a weaver, but the spinning is definitely here to stay. This was skein 3. So this is some Anna Grattan Corriedale in the colorway Passion Fruit that I purchased up at Cannes from the lovely Deline. And this guy is a much bigger improvement. For those of you who are familiar with spinning, you may be able to see that there is much more evenness in the ply, that it's a much rounder looking yarn, and that it's come out much more even. So overall, thrilled with the progress. I have just purchased and I am spinning some of the lovely Haunui wool at the moment. This is their fiber. It's grown here on the South Island. It is 20.3 microns. There's 100 grams of combed top in here. And this guy is their colorway Toffee. For those of you who really loved the Wild Earth Naturals, this is some of the fiber that went into making those. And so if you have been missing those at the shop, or if you ever wanted them in a fingering weight, we can now definitely spin our own. Thank you, everybody. So this guy is what I'm spinning with right now. I've already prepped my fiber the way I like to, which is separating it and making these cute little mini balls of fiber. And I've spun through the first of the 2. Now, my amazing friend Corentin, who is the genius and talent behind Butter, really loved this wool, but really wanted it in a fingering weight. So he doesn't watch this. And I can tell all of you something that he's not going to know, which is I am actually spinning this for him. And I think it's going to turn out pretty well. I see a little chunk of it that I want to excise already sitting here on the bobbin, but I think it's pretty close to where I am. So I'm going to pull it out. And then what I'm going to do is thread it through and tie it off so that it can't unspin itself anymore. Boop. For those of you who are watching from home who do not spin, I'm going to show you the spinning wheel. And if you are interested and you want to come try things out and learn the basics, every day that I'm here from now on, I'm going to bring my wheel in with me, because the wheel that I got from Ashford is the Joy 2, which is a super portable wheel that folds up flat on itself. It also has a built-in thing for plying your yarn, which is called a lazy Kate. And the entire setup means that you can take and make yarn anywhere that you want. And it turns out to be surprisingly portable because it packs up into a backpack that comes with the wheel. How are you finding the time to do it all? Well, Adele, that's a really great question. I work really, really hard for as long as possible. Then I kind of crash and burn and get really sick for about 3 days. And then I take about 2 days off, and then I start over because I own my own business and no one is coming to help. So that's the reality. This is my wheel. It's a Joy 2 double treadle, and I'm in love. So if you're somebody who's been out there who's maybe felt intimidated by spinning or has had some negative experiences with spinning and stuff in the past, I know I certainly did. I can't give better advice than just jump into it and definitely get a wheel. I think that learning to spin initially on a spindle is a bit of a lost cause, because you have to be doing so many other things really, really well for it to work. But that's an opinion of mine. I'm a very beginner spinning, but I think that that's kind of how I come out on it. Now, knitting project wise, hopefully I will find the back when I go home. This is the front. Guys, I have some questions about where my brain was at during that last day of CAD. This is the front of my upcoming cute little raglan pullover. I just really wanted to try out the Arwetta and the Tilia. They are super soft and incredibly plush, and I think that you guys at home will really, really love them. I'm using the Arwetta and Tilia in color 340, which is also known as ice blue, and I really, really love the combination. These two yarns here from them are their kind of flagship base yarns and the ones that we brought in initially. And I am pleased to start announcing that we have made some summer yarn selections, but this comes with a caveat. So some of the yarns that we're going to bring in are things we will stock year round. We've had really good feedback from our intrepid trier of all new yarns, Mary, about the Trio 2. So we are going to be bringing that in on a standard basis going forward over the next couple of weeks from Issair. We're also going to be bringing in from Filcolana, Merci, which is a DK weight cotton and wool blend. I must admit, for me, this is not an exciting yarn, and most likely I'm not going to touch any of these summer yarns ever. They just don't interest me as a knitter, but that's not necessarily the point, because they might be the right yarn for the rest of you. If you're really steering away from pink, you know, blue was my original obsession in knitting. For about 6 years, I knit everything in blue or cream. If you ever meet my friend Bridget, which you won't, she can tell you the amount of blue yarn she used to sell me. It was ridiculous. And I'm experimenting with green. The other thing that I do have on the go is I'm still finishing the back of my high straight cardigan in Albertine. It's grown quite a bit. I just kind of pick this up and work on it in between other projects. Once this back piece is done, the fronts are going to take no time and the sleeves take me no time. And then all I have to do is the double knit button band and we will be all set. I'm super, super thrilled with all of these outcomes, and I'm really loving the yarns. Albertine is going to be one of the yarns coming up that we're going to be offering as part of our mystery knit along kits. So we're going to be doing kits at 3 different price points from 3 different commercial yarns. And the upcoming mystery knit along Go Dynamo is a 2-color shawl with a mohair dare. Now, the great news is we couldn't have more mohair options for you, which is perfect. And once Stephen explains the mohair dare, we'll finalize our kit selections and get those all up for you. The kits are going to be themed with 3 Gs because he called it Go Dynamo and I couldn't help myself. So the kits are going to be existing from 3 different dyers. So we're going to have one in Arwetta from Filcolana. We're going to have one kit in Albertine from the lovely Durarum. And finally, we're going to have a kit from Fiber Company. And I haven't quite decided on the yarn base from the Fiber Company yet. It's so hard to make choices with your yarns, to be completely transparent. And it's going to take me a minute to really settle on the right one for this. But don't worry. Luckily, I'm very familiar with their yarns. Thank you, Daphne, for letting me knit with them for years and years before this. And to Tiana, my former boss over at the Wonderful Needles in the Hay, which is in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Whoa. And she also was a huge Fiber Company fan, which is what really opened up my eyes to it because, spoiler alert, I was a little Brooklyn Tweed obsessed for a long time. Now, all of that being said, the 3 kit themes that we're going to be doing are going to have different colors on each of the different bases, but the overall theme is going to be, one is going to be grunge, then we're going to have glamour, and then I came up with a really good name for the third one, and I just can't remember what it is because I'm clearly not very smart today. But the third kit is going to be our neutrals kit. So the glamour kit is going to be bright and poppy and fun. The grunge kit is going to be, think greens and browns and oranges. And then the neutrals kit will be probably a really stark, high contrast, cream and white, very windswept sort of beach aesthetic, if that makes sense. I can't believe I just said beach windswept aesthetic, but here we are. The thing came out of my mouth. Now, I just talked basically for 16 minutes without taking a breath. So I'm going to have a mouthful of coffee. My second one of the day, because I got up early enough to have coffee. Yes. Whew. There we go. Good morning, Kathy. So that's everything that's going on with me at the moment. 19 projects on the go. Go Dynamo coming up. Never sure what Mr. West is going to bring us. I have really high hopes, though. So here's why I have high hopes for this year's Mystery Knit Along. Stephen's best work is when he's under the most constraints. And now that's true of so many different artists, but with a 2-color constraint, I really, really think that Stephen has the best possible chance, right, of coming up with an absolutely stunning design and doing something really, really cool. My favorite mystery knit along, no prizes for guessing, is Starflake. I still think that's his best mystery knit along that he has ever done. And I'm willing to hear your opinions on which ones might be better, but you're wrong. Starflake is the best one. I'm not kidding. And so I really want to encourage everybody. I know last year, and I think it's important to openly address this as opposed to just ignoring it or sweeping under the rug. I know last year went off the rails in a spectacular fashion. I think that's the best description possible for what occurred, right? But this year, I want to invite all of you to come back to this with curiosity and with the sense of the adventure of the mystery. It's not necessarily about getting the shawl done even, or even necessarily starting it. And I know that might sound really strange. It's about taking that step outside of our comfort zone and trying something where we don't have all the answers, we don't know what's going on, and being really able to be open with our hearts for this new possibility, okay? Yes. Oh, Joanna has caught on to what's about to come out of my mouth. She is ahead of the game. So, in preparation for Flocktober, which is coming at you white hot in October this year, we are doing our annual event, everybody. Frog it or finish it, September. Every year in September, I invite all of you to take a good long look at all of your whips. Lay them out on the floor. Take a glamorous photo of them this year. I have a great idea. So what I want you to do today, if you're watching or if you watch this later, and especially if you're a Flock online member, because I have to get in there and do a whole bunch of stuff this week. Sorry, everybody. Like, I literally need you to understand that I slept like, 30 hours in 3 days, which probably doesn't sound like a lot, but I averagely sleep 4 hours a night. So that was really big for me. What I want to invite all of you to do is get all of your whips out, say hello to all of them again, and If last year's MCAL is still among them, do not feel bad. We should never feel bad or feel guilt for the number of whips that we have going on. This is our hobby. This is our passion. This is our projects. You're going to fall in and out of love with things, and there are a season and a time for all aspects of knitting. There's a time to knit, there's a time to frog, a time maybe to spin or crochet instead. And being more gentle with ourselves and not holding ourselves to any sort of set idea of what we need to quote unquote accomplish in a year, I think is a much healthier way of approaching this beautiful thing that we all get to do together that we call knitting. I spoke pretty forcefully, and I'm going to do it again here today. I kind of forget sometimes what a powerful force knitting has been in all of our lives, individually and collectively. And sometimes I make a great deal of light of what I do for a profession. And I think what people assume is that I sell yarn for a living. And I don't sell yarn for a living. Yarn selling is the byproduct of what I actually do. And what I actually do is I help people to find ways to express themselves, to connect to their history, to reach out and get to know other people in their community. And my biggest, most important job as somebody who has a yarn store is actually to foster that community, both here online in this space, but also in person, and to ensure that everybody who steps through the doors of Get Flocked feels invited into our larger community and knows that all of us are here for them, not just today, but going forward. And that's the big thing that I do. That's my work. And I want to remind all of you that every single one of you, every little connection that I have like this is what makes me better at what I do. And I'm so, so grateful for every single one of you that's watching today, for everybody who comes into the shop. I am especially grateful for the people who come on Wednesday nights and sit and knit in my shop, for the people who come on Saturdays and knit with me, and for the people like Troy and Mary and Emily and Lisa and all of the others, and Kathy, and just countless other people, Marie and Libby and Bibi, and I could go on and on and on. I could sit here and list names for 2 to 3 hours, to be honest. And I think that expressing open gratitude is not cool, but it's, sorry, whew, I might cry again. But it's a really good thing to do. And I'm just really, really excited for what is to come. And I hope all of you are excited to come on a wild ride with us, because, oh boy, do we have some fun in store for you. Because we are bringing back the fun, if you haven't noticed, and we are also still bringing back wonder and awe. And if you have been missing out on wonder and awe in your life, don't worry, because we have got you covered. Good news. Adele is right, and now it's time for new stuff. So let's wrap up today talking about some of the new stuff and reminding you about some of the stuff that is still sitting here that won't be here for much longer. So just a reminder, we do have a beautiful selection of redesigned stuff in store. We also have a beautiful selection, and redesigned, by the way, are the gorgeous project bags that you've seen me flogging around and carrying and using constantly for the past 2 months, which is my usual testing process. Before I decide to stock something in the shop, I like to work with it and use it for a while so that I have some clear and easy answers for you. If you have not jumped in on the redesigned project stuff yet, you are missing out, and we are here to help. So hop on over to the website and look through all of the gorgeous redesigned project things that we have. There's an array of colors, sizes, different things. And I'm going to tell you, you do need more than one. I think I'm like 5 deep now, and I imagine by the end of it, it's going to be much worse than that. They are now driving the scissor lift down the center of the tram tracks. This cannot end well. Oh my God. Now, another exciting thing for many of you, everything is sitting on the floor next to me. I'm going to like duck down like 18 times. I'm sorry. You may notice over there that there appear to be some new things on that rack. You're right. Guess what they are? Anybody? Anybody? This is only exciting for a certain percentage of our knitters. Now, we have not been stocking these previously because we have other partners who are stocking them, but given that we're here 7 days a week and we know a lot of our customers are using them, we have heard the people and we have decided to start stocking Xiaogu. So for you guys, we have brought in, these are just the kits because they were the easiest ones to grab because they were the closest things to me, to be honest. but we are starting to build out slowly a full selection of Xiaogu products, including 100-centimeter fixed cables, the sock shorties, which we have both in the sample packs and in the full interchangeable set, the mini interchangeable set here. This is the twist shorties, the 5 and 8 centimeter set. We also have the interchangeable twist sets as well. This is the red lace set in the small with the 13-centimeter tips. Bearing in mind that small refers to the cable size that inserts into the tips, okay? It's a difference with Xiaogu. But if you are looking to try them out, and you are somebody who likes to get a set initially, which is how I prefer to roll, this is definitely the one to start with. Unless you know that you want these shorties for sleeves and socks, etc., then definitely go with this one. All of this stuff is up on the website. We also have individual interchangeable tips, the cables that go with them, and the individual shorties all on hand, just in case there's something there that we possibly missed. Should you, as one of our customers, need anything from Xiaogu that we aren't currently stocking, please go ahead and contact us. We are thrilled to do special orders as we build up, and it also helps us to understand more of what you're looking for. Ooh, Yona loves the Xiaogu. See, there we go. Needles are always a preference, everybody, and every single individual is going to have a personal preference for what they prefer. Overall, for me, the mindful ones are where it's at, followed in second by Lantern Moon, but that doesn't mean it's right for you, and we want to make sure that we're reaching everybody. So, say a big warm welcome to Xiaogu, and we cannot wait to show you all the rest of the things that we're going to bring in from them over the next little while. Whew, I put them right back on their shelf, so I don't have to do it later. Also, at long last, after months and months of waiting, sorry everybody that it took so long, we have our first restock of Hedgehog fiber that is not potluck in forever, which is great. And we're going to slowly start building up more and more of the standard colors. But I just couldn't resist to tell you that our custom colors are back. This one is the one that Emily designed for herself. It's called Cotton Candy. And if you know Emily and you can understand completely where this color inspiration came from, it's a beautiful mixture of many different pastels with a swirl of green tying it all together. And I think it's an absolute banger of a colorway, and it makes up one half of our incredible set. And this is my custom colorway, Unicorn Tears. And together they look absolutely gorgeous and are a totally awesome thing. You could also use either one of these as contrasts inside of a Go-Go Dynamo shawl if you are interested. So we love, love, love these, and we're thrilled that they're back. We've also brought in 2 of the new colors that they have released, which Emily selected, and she did a great job picking them out. So the 2 new ones that we brought in, now we brought in quite a bit of our custom colors, which is why there's only 2 new colors, and also because some savvy people snapped up the rest of it very, very quickly. So Werewolf and Parklife disappeared like that, obviously. One to Adele, one to Kathy, and these guys are here though for you. These 2 beauties are Celestial and Hibiscus, and aren't they just luscious? So I'm super, super thrilled that these guys are back with us. And I lifted up Celestial and I said Hibiscus. And this Hibiscus is wild. Wild. I love it. I cannot wait to see your guys' reaction. On camera, it actually looks a little bit muted compared to how it is in person. It looks like a whole field of hibiscus flowers all applied to yarn. The final thing that I'm really excited about is Emily shared with me some really great feedback from people that we were looking for some alpaca-based fluff for those of us who may have a little bit of difficulty with mohair. Totally understand, no problem. Turns out, when you ask Daddy for something, he provides. Good news. Our good friends at Issair have an absolutely fantastic solution for those of you who might be a little mohair sensitive. That's right, the queens of mohair themselves came up with a stunning, stunning mohair substitute amongst all of their products that we are wildly in love with. We launched this at Cannes over the weekend, and it had a very warm reception. So we have a limited number of colors remaining, but we have a good stock in all the colors that we do have. This is Issair Soft Fine. This little beauty here is absolutely incredible. So they're like divine little clouds, and they feel almost like cashmere, not like alpaca. And that's because they are not Suri alpaca, which has a longer, less structured fiber. They are standard alpaca fiber, but it also has yak inside of it, which is giving this incredible depth, because this is number 11, which we know is normally a much cleaner, brighter color. But with the yak base inside of it, it brings it down and gives it this rich tonal effect that's really amazing. This is one of the undyed shades, which you can always tell from Issayer because it has these gorgeous brown labels on it. And we also do have a selection of the coordinating Tavinis to go with them. So the Issayer Soft Fine is a blend of 63% alpaca, a 26% silk core, and 11% yak down. And they pair beautifully with the Tivinis that are intended to coordinate with them. On this side, we have shade 6S, and on this side, we have 11 and 11S. And I just absolutely love the way that they look, like happy little clouds bouncing around. So somehow, we've made it to the end of our time together this morning. And I'm going to tell you something that I'm about to do. So I'm doing some preparation spinning by spinning this How Nui toffee for my good friend Cornton as a super fun surprise for him. Hopefully he loves it. He might not. We'll find out. And when I am done that, I got in touch with the incredible team at How Nui through their website and did an order. And I'm going to be looking at whether or not they'll allow us, and I mean allow us, to stock their fiber. When we're talking about a fiber as incredibly stunning and beautiful as what How Nui produces, we really need to be respectful of the incredible work that the farmers have put into the genetic lines that create the fiber, and the work that they have done to build this up through selective breeding and incredible animal husbandry that takes hours and hours each day of work and effort and labor, not to mention the incomparable skill of the shearers who bring that fiber out, and then the scour that delicately cleans it. And finally, to the team at How Nui that selects and then obviously creates the incredible blends that we receive. This is the Fog colorway of their fiber. And you might notice that there's quite a bit of it in this bag. So I bought myself a sweater quantity of Fog from How Nui, inspired by my good friend Bonnie, who has been talking to me about their fiber forever, and from having met the incredible people behind it recently when we hosted all of the vendors for Wool Feast here at the shop, which we will do every single year and every time there's an event in Christchurch, because it is important that we form connections in our professional community, not just in our public-facing community like this one, because again, that's my real job. And so this guy here is the How Nui Fog. There are 600 grams in here, which is more than enough spun to a fingering weight to knit myself a jumper. And so my challenge to myself during the month of September is I'm going to see if I can spin myself a sweater quantity of fingering weight yarn, and then during Flocktober, if I can knit myself 2 jumpers, one in my own hand spun, and one in a new surprise yarn from one of our amazing vendors. So that's what's going on. There's a little teaser. If you want to get in on the spinning joy and you need help selecting a wheel, or just want to come try it out and get started, get in touch, drop us a line, let us know. We're happy to help. I'm also pleased to announce that we are going to be hosting a monthly spin-in starting in November. So that'll be a great opportunity to come out, sit around with some other people, whether or not you have a wheel, find out if you're going to love spinning. I will say the wheel is the way to go for me, but it might not be right for you. We do also have the introduction to spinning kits from Ashford if it's something that you want to get interested in. It comes with everything you need to start spinning. And apart from that, I'm going to run today because I've got some stuff to do before I open. But I want to remind all of you to go out there, as I said earlier, and seek out some wonder and awe today. For nothing else, I just want you to go outside and stare up at the clouds. I know that people say that today is this gray and grim day, but there is a sublime beauty in a deep gray or pale gray sky, because when you really look at it, it's not made up of one color. Like this How Nui Fog, it's made up of 1,000 little shades of gray all swirling together to make this incredibly beautiful texture. And when we take time to stop and appreciate what's happening with curiosity and wonder, as opposed to seeing it as an impediment, it really changes the way that we interact with our day. And I think that it's going to invite a little bit more joy into your life. And also, I've been saying for years that yarn is joy made physical. And I think that spinning your own yarn is a little bit like trapping joy. Each little ply that you make is a little bit of joy permanently spun into physical format. And just like with knitting, you will encapsulate each little moment of your life into the thing that you're doing when we do it with our hands and we're fully present and engaged with it. And trust me, it's impossible not to be present at the spinning wheel because it is moving and it needs you to move it. All right. I hope you all have an absolutely beautiful week. Please, please, please subscribe if you're not already. Please share this as widely as you can. And I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day and that I see some of you today in the shop. Okay. Bye-bye.